Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. If for those of you who watched yesterday's King Cryptid video, you see I was talking about my voice. Well, I'm officially sick now. I got a fever. I canceled my game night. I'm just not feeling good, and my foreman has been. He took a risk on me. He's given me a position, and I don't want to call in sick. So I'm just sitting home with my Superman Snuggie, drinking some coffee. I actually made chicken soup, full on baby. So I thought I'd do a short video, and if I just cut off, it's because my voice is killing me. So I thought I'd do a little unusual video today. I'll blame it on my fever. But first off, I wanted to show off the black book. These are all my girlfriends now. This is a book called Funny Books. Okay, this is the improbable glories of the best American comic books. This is a history of Dell Comics. And I bought this because I don't know anything about Dell Comics. Okay, so I was talking with Bucky 749, I think his nomenclature. Forgive me if I get it wrong, Bucky. I'm blaming sickness for everything today, okay? But he and I were talking, and I asked him about Dell Comics, and he was just like, I just like Dell Comics. I'm not an expert. Well, you know what? Compared to me, you're an expert. I know nothing. But I bought this book about a month ago, and it's just been sitting here collecting dust because, I believe it or not, I'm a very, very slow reader. So I like to take my time and absorb things. I read very slow. So this is on my schedule of things to read. Okay, I'm just moving this, but you know what? I'm going to put a comic book over here just so you to look at. The next thing I wanted to talk about and show off is my ultimate nullifier. Okay, I got a resin 3D printer. Almost a year ago now. And like everything else in my life, I was intimidated by it and I was scared to use it. And it sat unopened in my garage for at least 8 months. There was like a one-day sale on Amazon. This printer goes for like $400, but it was like one day, $189. So I just bought it on impulse because that's the kind of jerk I am, much to my wife's chagrin. I bought it, and then when it showed up, I didn't even take it out of the box. I never realized this about myself until I started this channel, but I get intimidated by things, and I kind of retreat. So, for instance, I'm trying to write a comic script with a friend, and he's so enthusiastic about it, and he's so good about it that I'm like, oh my God, anything I do is going to disappoint. I've already deleted 3 drafts, and I'm like, and this person's been nothing but wonderful. So that's my own private weakness that I'm working on. When I started the channel, I agonized before I even started, and then all I had to do was hit a button and talk. And now, granted, my first videos weren't that good, and my most recent videos aren't that good, but that's besides the point. I was afraid to make playlists. I was afraid to invite people and talk to people. And once I did all of these things, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? So I'm overcoming this. I joke about how I had OCD-like qualities and everything, but I'm not self-diagnosing myself. That's actually something I can't stand. As you can see, I dropped it and it broke like instantly. As soon as it hardened, and you see this glaze, I can't seem to get rid of it. So I'm gonna try to buff it. If anybody knows anything about 3D printing, let me know what I'm doing wrong. It also has these little bumps on the bottom from the stands, but I'm impressed. It's not my first 3D print. It's my second 3D. My first one, I printed a Deathly Hallows, that little triangle thing for my wife, because she was like, you spent $200 on this thing, you don't even use. So I printed her up a Harry Potter thing, and she's like, oh wow, this thing is cool. It's all about psychology, guys. It's all about psychology. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, okay, Jesus Christ, this is the most least professional video I've ever made. All right, I'm just gonna show this. Okay, this is my Marvel visitor badge. I've got my fingers over it because it's got names that I don't want to dox. Okay, but what is this? This is proof positive that I worked for Marvel Comics. Now, how did I work for Marvel Comics? Oh, geez, I'm sorry, my voice is going. I was their electrician. Back in 2005, I was an apprentice electrician, and I was assigned to a building that Marvel Comics was located in. And they didn't call for an electrician for like, I was in that building for 3 years. For 2 years, I was like, I'm going to Marvel Comics when they call. I'm going to Marvel Comics when they call. And of course, they didn't call. And then when they finally did, I remember going to work and my foreman was like, John, you're up. You're going up to Marvel Comics. Spider-Man needs his web shooters. They're all busting my chops. So I went there. And guys, God's honest truth, it was the most miserable experience of my life. I remember going into the lobby. There was this beautiful woman working there, just taking my information, giving me my pass. My jaw hit the ground when I saw this beautiful woman. And I was just like, man, Marvel Comic. And then I went in. It was miserable. It was dark. Like the overhead light fixtures, they were like flashing. They had like water stain damage. So the tiles, like there would be white tile in the drop ceiling, and then one of them would be orange from like water damage. It was just underlit. The carpet was dirty and worn. And worst of all, I had this imagination that I'd walk into Marvel Comics and it would be 4 colors. It would be primary colors. There would be people like, walking down the street like in superhero costumes, drawing and, banners all over. It was miserable, dark. Everybody was talking in hushed whispers. And I had to go through, it was just cubicles, like 4 people jammed in a cubicle, like a space that one person should be working in. It was just jammed of like way too many people. Okay? It was that bad. It was awful. And so I had to work. And here's the kicker of the story. So around 2005, they were having an editorial meeting, and all these editors, they went into a larger cubicle, and they were all sitting around in a circle, and they were discussing an X-Men event. I don't know if it ever came true or not, because none of it I ever saw in the comics. Remember, I quit Marvel in 2015, so I had 10 more years. But they were all sitting around in a circle discussing the X-Men, and they had the lore wrong. And I'm literally on a ladder in the middle of their meeting, pulling wire through. I got the tiles removed, so I got my head in the ceiling tile, and I'm pulling wire to run a new circuit. And I'm listening to the meeting, and my partner, God bless him, is going slow because he knows I'm just absorbing all this. And I wanted to get off the ladder and be like, excuse me, none of you guys got this information correctly. Like, you've seen pictures of my comic collection. I'm like, I felt like saying, like, guys, you don't know what you're talking about. How are you the group editor? I'm not mentioning names. And they, but of course I couldn't. I'm a professional. I was still on my probationary period at my job, so I couldn't really do anything. But now that company's no longer in business, so who cares? So I was telling my friend, and he was like, dude, you got to tell that channel that story on your channel. Now here's the kicker. So now cut to, I forget exactly what year, 10 years later, your boy Zach, Richard T. Meyer, is doing Diversity in Comics. And I told him that, I sent him an email at the start, and he put me in one of the videos. He didn't put me. He talked about it as I was one of his insiders. So there you go. I was one of Diversity in Comics, your boy Zach's insiders, talking about the electrician at Marvel Comics. And my friend said that he remembers hearing that video. So if anybody was a fan or is a fan of your boy Zach and knows when that video came out, I would kind of like to hear it again, and my friend wants to hear it again, knowing that it was from me. So those are things that I wanted to talk about. Again, this is a short video because my voice is killing me. The other thing I wanted to show it to Pizza Medi, but there on my fridge, can you see that? That's a King Cryptid sticker. There's my fridge with every time I get a sticker, I throw it on the fridge. But I stuck that up before I even got the King Cryptid comic. So I trusted Pete. I knew the comic was going to be good, and I threw it up there. I got more stickers over here. Forgive me, I'm just a mess. My desk is a mess right now. But there you go. This short little odds and ends video of nothing important, just nonsense. But thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for suffering through my horrible voice. I feel worse than my voice sounds. So, I'm recording this on a Thursday. This is going to be Friday. I don't know if there'll be a Saturday video. Because I feel like I'm getting worse. odds are if there is a Saturday video, it'll be late because, you know, I'll sleep late and whatever and record the video later. But, you know, I'm sure you guys can understand. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, Wednesday is going to be Don Chin of Teenage Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters. Don Chin is a wonderful guy, just a wonderful guy, a real sweetheart of a guy. You know, it's going to be fun. I can't believe that he wants to talk to me, and, you know, it's going to come on my tiny little silly little unprofessional channel. But thanks a lot, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you for suffering through this nonsense video. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.